Right then, hello everybody, and welcome to the round 24 then here for the over 28's Racing League, and we have got the British Grand Prix just ahead of us. Obviously, we've got one shot qualifying and then a sprint race and then the main race after that. So it's a bit of a different format going into it for this weekend, but it's definitely one to look forward to. Indeed, obviously the championship's already been wrapped up, but we are still going to go into this one fighting as hard as we can, and the championship, constructors championship actually, is still all to play for. So we will see where the boys can get themselves in this race, and we'll see who can come out ahead of the British Grand Prix. So I will quickly reset. We do have one shot qualifying instead of short qualifying, and then obviously we have the sprint race and then the main race. But I'm not sure if we're going straight into one shot or we're going to have a bit of a break. We will see. Turbo's now. Evening. How you doing, mate? Good to see you in chat. Good to see you indeed, as we are here for the British Grand Prix, and especially for me as a commentator, it is nice to be at a different track for once, because I've commentated on Brazil, Mexico, Belgium about four times each in the past like 3 weeks, and it is nice to have a bit of a change of scenery. Obviously out here for the British Grand Prix, British sprint race, and one shot qualifying, which is the first session up next. So, welcome to everybody joining us in the chat then, here for the race in the over 28's league. Obviously, last weekend I think I did, was it it was Monza, and this weekend we are back with a bang for the British Grand Prix, and hopefully one shot qualifying will be getting started soon. I will try to follow it as best as I can, but obviously, given that it's one shot qualifying, it is not that easy to follow on the stream, but I'll do my very best for you to give you a good show with that. And as we're waiting, I will actually check the Discord probably, and have a look if we do. I think we do have a break. I'll see how long it is. Drew says, quali being on yet? No, we've got we've got one shot qualifying, Drew. Then it's sprint race, and then we've got main race after that. And one shot qualifying should be starting anytime soon. Really normally a couple of minutes, then a longer one between sprint and main race. Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. I'm absolutely buzzing for British Grand Prix. It's going to be brilliant. And like I said earlier, obviously change of scenery. But as we are getting ready then to go into the one-shot qualifying here in the British areas, it's Silverstone, and we have 15 seconds on the clock before qualifying gets underway. Obviously, like I said, it's not that easy to follow given it's one-shot qualifying, but I'll do my best, and we'll see who can come out ahead this weekend for qualifying and start on pole position for the sprint race then, as we're getting going around the final corner towards the line, and up ahead at the moment is Jarmin then. Thomas Nail saying Mez for pole, and we'll have to see where he is. Where is Mezzanator? Mezzanator is a P4, P3, P2 now, and P1. He goes right up to P1 through that turn just there, turn 5 now, and it is Ash who takes it away from him at the minute. Ash is up at the top at the minute. Drew predicts a Williams pole out there so far, and we'll see if that can happen. Then it is Icelandic Rob who, obviously the Williams car. Can Drew get his prediction right this weekend? Ash still leading up ahead, and as we'll talk about that, we will quickly get telemetry up so we can see what is going on. It's still Ash leading then as he heads down towards Copse Corner now. It's turn 9 on the British Grand Prix racing circuit, and Ash does that one absolutely brilliantly and still leading at the moment. He's going quicker than everybody else out here on this lap. It's Gunners behind him, gunning for that first position. It's Oakley 3rd, Icelandic Rob 4th, Dan's Motorsport 5th, and Mezzanator 6th, who Turbo Snail says for pole. So we'll see if he can make his way up there towards the end of this lap. Then round turn 15, Ash goes. It's Gunners who manages to get himself ahead just a little bit towards the end of the lap, but Ash gets his way back through towards the last chicane. Through the final corner, Ash will go. It's Gunners ahead for a little bit. It's a bit of a battle to the line. It'll be Ash across the line, and Ash goes quickest in qualifying. Puts that Aston Martin on pole position for the sprint race this weekend. It's Gunners 2nd, Icelandic Rob 3rd. It is Oakley 4th, Mezzanator 5th, Dan's Motorsport 6th, Schultz 7th, and the list goes on for one-shot qualifying. And finishing results then for the one-shot qualifying session. It's Ash who was having a bit of a back and forth between the Scottish driver of Gunners then in the Haas, but overall and at the end of it, Ash came out the better man and the faster man by nearly a tenth of a second on one-shot qualifying just there. So it's Ash on pole position for the sprint race. It's Gunners 2nd, Icelandic Rob 3rd, Oakley 4th, it's Mezzanator 5th, Dan's Motorsport 6th, Charles comes in 7th. It is James in 8th, Corrigan 9, Kieran 10, Jarmin 11, Ballbag 12, Dark 13, Gazelle in 14, and let's quickly go down. That's it. We've got 14 drivers joining us, and that is the grid for the sprint race coming up just next. I'm not sure. I think we should have a break as well for that, and after that we will be getting straight into the sprint race here in Great Britain. This is going to be an absolutely brilliant one, especially this league as well. This league's got some beautiful racing, I can't lie. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so we're going to go bowling. Typical England with this weather. And this break should probably be a few minutes, and after this we will be getting straight on with the British sprint race for round 24 of the Over 28's League. Need any more drivers? Happy to start at the back. Mate, I can't really give you a say in that. I'm just the commentator here, but if you wanted to ask something like that, your guy is probably Ash or Dan's Motorsport. If you can get in touch with them. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Turbo. I don't really know exactly who you would have to talk to for that, but Have we got a formation lap? Yes, we do. And we are on the grid. And the drivers will be led away by that Aston Martin car on the front. Obviously, the Aston Martin car, the home base here at Silverstone. And it is the Aston Martin that will lead them away for the formation lap. With Gunners behind, it is Rob in third. Oakley will come in fourth. And with 9 laps for the sprint race here for the British sprint race, it's going to be a very, very good and exciting one coming up indeed. Then obviously we've got the rain, which is going to it's going to change it up just a little bit, to say the least, and we'll see what'll come out of it this time around. So obviously 14 drivers joining us this weekend. It's not as much as I don't think it's as much as last weekend, to be honest with you. We also do not have who do we not have? We don't have wait, to find him. Who sealed the championship? I can't remember. It was Peninsula who sealed the championship, and Peninsula will not be commentating. That is me. I'm reading the Twitch chat. Peninsula will not be racing this weekend because he obviously sealed the championship and gone, and he's just living the high life now. Doesn't really need to be in this race, does he? Because he's gone and won the championship, and he can sit back, relax, and just watch this one pan out and see what will happen. The constructors' titles are still all to play for then, and it's Yarla Boy in the chat. How are you, mate? I'll let you know no one apart from Jai who comments this in a different league, am I? Yeah, you're Helion, you're ARD, aren't you? I think. Yeah. Watching football instead of racing. Yeah. Good, just do commentary today. Did you do who did you do it for? It's Friday, isn't it? So you did it for who was it? ERS, I think. Oh, VDRL. Oh, Garen has a bit of a moment. Goes round on the final corner. As the drivers make their way to the line, and the last driver will be the Mercedes car to pull up on the grid. As we're about to get ready, the Mercedes pulls into the final spot. And with the heavy rain conditions here in Silverstone, the car's revs go right up to the max then here in Silverstone for the sprint race. It is lights out, and away we go. Here in the rain, and Ash gets away with a beautiful start with the rain, and he does an absolutely brilliant one into turn 1. He's still leading them with Gunners in second. He's got the pressure from the Williams on the inside, but the Williams goes, it's not off the track, it's the Alpine even that went off the track there. Loads of carnage through here, then 3 wide through there. The Mercedes goes off of Charles. Gunners and Mezzanator having a battle. Dan's Motorsports made his way right up through. That was absolutely lovely from Dan's Motorsport, and made it up to P3 already on the first lap of this weekend. Then it's Ash who still leads, and he's got a 1.4 second gap now. This rain can change the whole race up then, as Dan's Motorsport to the inside, and Dan's in the AlphaTauri does get through and past Gunners on that lap around. Gunners going to try to the outside around here, but can he do anything about it? I don't think he can, as the exit turn 7 to turn 8 now. And Dan's Motorsport gets the move done and dusted. He's on the absolute charge then for Ash at the moment. The gap is 1.6 seconds. And can he make the time up then? As at the back it is Kieran who has gone round, and it is unfortunate. I think it was him that went round. It's him that went round earlier, wasn't it, as well? But that is a bit unfortunate for the Mercedes car. His teammate is in P9 of Chaltz, but a bit of a position change there as Oakley gets through past Rob. As the drivers now make their way down round turn 15, and towards the end of the lap to start the second lap of the sprint race. And Ash, the gap between him and Dan's Motorsport is now 1.1 seconds. Ash has a bit of a moment there through turns 16 and 17. We'll see what Ash can do then, as the gap is now 9/10 of a second, and Dan's Motorsport is gaining at a rate of knots then as they go down into turn 1, and we'll see how much he can gain on this next lap coming up next. And a few drivers in the pit lane. We've got 3 drivers. It is the Williams, it is Charles and Dark all in the pit lane on lap 1 out of 9 for the sprint race. And I just told you, it does show you how the rainy conditions can really change up the way a race or sprint race goes. And up ahead though, It is Ash who has absolutely mastered that start, and I told you about the rain because the gap was 9/10 a second ago. It's 1.5 seconds between Ash and Dan's Motorsport, and we'll see if the AlphaTauri's still got it in him to catch up. Obviously only on lap 2 at the moment. Corrigan has a bit of a moment out of the exit of that corner there, and he's got the Haas ahead of him of Gunners, who started in P2, but he's dropped down to 3rd position here in Silverstone at the moment. And there's not really too much going on for this sprint race so far. I mean, everybody is training up ahead, but there's no moves really, no crucial moves going on at all as they head through Maggis and Beckett's, and Corrigan seems to be gaining on the Haas now, as Corrigan's got the slipstream on the backside of Gunners. Obviously no DRS down here because of the rain. Gunners looks slow on the straight. It's Corrigan who will try his Ferrari around the outside, but he cannot do anything on this time around. He'll still try and pressure him, then now he moves to the inside of the corner. Eddie Corrigan is going to go around the outside. Can he get it through? The Haas tries to stick it down the inside. The Ferrari is going to try and stick it on the outside, but nothing comes out of it, and Gunners, with the absolutely beautiful defense from that Haas, manages to stay ahead past Corrigan on lap 3 out of 9. Dan's Motorsport goes quickest, now 8/10 between him and Ash, and he seems to be gaining on him actually. We'll see if he can gain any more. This is what we love to see from Ash and Dan's. We'll see if we can get a bit of a battle going on between them soon. And apart from that, is there a battle going on at the back straight? Yes, there is. It is Schultz and Icelandic Rob, and we will see what will come out of this one then as they head towards the final chicane here in Silverstone. Dan is a secret submarine. As Rob and Schultz make their way down the main straight, and Rob managed to find a bit of time and a bit of grip out of that corner, actually, I must say, as Ash is now 7/10 in front of Dan's, and the gap seems to be coming down lap by lap as the Mercedes round on one of the straights. And the bit move going on here then. We've got Corrigan on the backside of Gunners, and we'll see what comes out of this one then as they made their way down the final straight and towards turn 15. It is Corrigan to the inside. He tried to put his car down the inside, but Gunners, we've seen his defense already on the last lap. He's going to use that defense again to his advantage, and it's Gunners who manages to stay ahead of Corrigan on lap 3 out of 9. At the moment, the Ferrari cannot do anything about that one. But now, as he tries to stay in the slipstream, then they go onto the main straight. But it's Gunners who manages to just edge his way ahead, and he does stay ahead on this lap indeed. That is absolutely lovely, lovely stuff. And then we will move back to another move. Is that stuff going on there? No, it's not. But the gap between first and second is now 7/10 as the McLaren of Mezzanator lets ball back through, I think. And his teammate flies through. Obviously, team play there. That is what we love to see. Over here as it is Ash and Dan still going at it. The gap now half a second into the 4/10 now. Geez, it's getting a lot smaller than it was, and Dan's Motorsport has got the car of Ash right in front of him now, right set in his sights as they make their way down to Cop's corner, and Dan's is really gaining on the back end of Ash now. And the gap now 3/10, and we'll see if this can stay through Maggis and Beckett's. Obviously, Dan's can't really make a move through here, but he'll still try and stay on the backside of him and keep that slipstream on the backside of the Aston Martin, as it's all crucial about getting a good exit out of here then. And it was a beautiful exit from Dan's Motorsport. Will this be the lap that we see the overtake from Dan's on Ash? Ash seems to be using a bit of ERS here because he seems to be pulling away quite a bit down at the back straight, and Dan's is trying to edge his way through, but he just cannot do anything about it at the moment. Ash is defending like an absolute champion so far. Dan's locks up a bit to the outside, and it's just going to really help Ash then, who just pulls away. And the gap now 7/10 out of that corner. And it just shows you how the rain changes things in a matter of seconds then. And the gap now is second. I told you, that is absolutely mental. And nothing came out of that one at all, but these guys seem to be close as we go on to the back straight, and we'll see what Schultz can do on the backside of Rob. Seems to be gaining a bit, but it doesn't really look to be enough to get past him on this corner, and he does not get through on that one. But towards, obviously, as you know, the chicane now here in Silverstone, the last few corners on this British Grand Prix circuit, we'll see If Charles can do anything through here, then he's got, obviously, the Alfa Romeo as well, just up ahead. See if the Williams can get through. But he has got Charles on the backside of it. That's going to be putting the pressure on him. The Williams just drives to the inside. The Williams is going to go through past Gazelle on that lap around. Charles can't do anything about that one, and Charles stays back. But it is the Williams of Rob who gets right through past Gazelle on lap 5 out of 9. That is what we love to see indeed. And it's Rob up into P9 at the moment. There's not really anything else going on at the moment in this sprint race, I can't lie to you. As Corrigan has got the Haas of Gunners set in his sights, and I hate to say it, but Corrigan is in a bit of a Haas sandwich at the moment. But we have seen brilliant racing from Corrigan so far. More importantly, Gunners brilliant defending here in Silverstone at the moment, with only 3 laps to go here for the sprint race, and Gunners is just doing brilliantly to stay ahead of Corrigan so far. The gap now is second and coming down by a little bit. The gap that was a second between Ash and Dan's is coming down a little bit now. It was 9/10, now back up to a second. Lovely commentator's curse from me, we do love that. As Gazelle is out of the session, and that is a safety car on lap 6 out of 9. I was not expecting to get that at the end of the race, but here we go. We have got one. And that is brilliant. Safety car at the end, and that, to be fair, I'm very happy because hopefully we can get some good racing. As we will go back to the back, and obviously under safety car conditions now, lap 6 out of the 9 for the sprint race here in Silverstone, and we've lost one driver. It is Gazelle in the Alfa Romeo. His teammate is actually not here today, but hopefully they can be back for next race. Is next race the final round of the season? I'm not really sure, because someone told me that. I'm not really sure. I think, no, next race is the final round, sorry. I'm not really sure which one it is. As Ash going slowly around the final corner. Dan's Motorsport into the pit lane. And I'm not sure, will he be going on to new intermediates, or do you think it's time for the dries? Nope, it is still intermediates for Dan's Motorsport. And after all of that then, Mr. Ash Barker, his, what a driver, to be fair, what a driver indeed. I don't mean to cross over leagues and stuff, but Ash did win out yesterday for the league that I commentated on, and he's an absolutely star driver in all the leagues that I've seen him in, and hopefully he can do well today. He's doing an absolutely superb job to stay up ahead for the Aston Martin boys so far. His teammate down in P11, and hopefully he can make his way up. He's in the pit lane so far, but Ash has had a good weekend so far, to be fair. Obviously lap 7 out of 9 on the safety car. All he's got to do really in these wet conditions, as we do see them start to ease off just a little bit, is he's got to try and master that start when we get going on the safety car once again. And I do believe we will have probably 1 lap of racing left here for the sprint race once the safety car comes in, because barely anybody is caught up at the moment. There's quite a lot that haven't. As we will head over the sector second line. Never mind, safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. I think we have to have 2 laps of racing at the end, and obviously not really everybody's caught up, but the drivers that are caught up at the back, and everybody else really, prepared to get ready to go racing again then, here for the sprint race in Silverstone. And it will be Ash that will lead them away from Gunners, Corrigan, James, Dan's Motorsport in P5, who went into the pit lane, obviously, who was up in P2 earlier, and we'll see if he can make his way back up there. But now the safety car will go into the pit lane, and Ash becomes the effective safety car. Ash flies away already before even the last 3 corners, and he's absolutely flying to the line now. Ash wants to get away as quick as he can from Gunners then as he heads towards the main straight, and the gap now 8 tenths already, 7 tenths now, and this is looking good for Ash at the moment. It's Ash first, Gunners second, Corrigan third, who's trying to make up a position still, but he has dropped back a bit. Now, Dan's Motorsport has got James ahead of him. Dan's will turn his car to the inside. James has got a bit of a problem on his hands here, but can Dan's get through? Or can he not then? He sends his car to the outside there. Forces that AlphaTauri through. He wanted that position, and he's got that position on lap 8 out of 9, and it's P4 for Dan's, and see if he can make his way back up to P2 where he was earlier on. That's an Alpine going incredibly slow. And is there anything else going on at the back? The AlphaTauri of Dan's Motorsport, who we've just seen make 1 position. Now we're going to see him make 2 then, down the inside into Cop's corner in Silverstone, and it's Dan's Motorsport who gets himself right up to P3, and now only 1 position off where he was earlier on. We'll see if he can get himself up there, as he has got the Ferrari still. He's not really clear from him yet, but now as I say that, Corrigan drops back 5 tenths of a second, now half a second, and Dan's Motorsport is pulling away absolutely lovely so far from the car behind. One thing he is doing, though, is gaining on the car ahead, and Gunners is really vulnerable right now. Then it's Dan's. He's going to send that AlphaTauri to the inside, and we've seen it twice before. Now we're going to see it again. It is Dan's Motorsport to 2nd position here for the sprint race at Silverstone as we head on to the final lap of this race. It is Ash that is 1.1 seconds ahead, but Dan's Motorsport has made it right the way from P5 all the way to 2nd in the space of a lap. That is what we love to see, and he does go quickest on the lap at the moment. That is absolutely brilliant so far. And we'll see if he can catch up towards the end of the lap. One thing that would be quite funny is Ash won the sprint race yesterday and managed to win it after crossing the line and overtaking the guy that was in first place. Overtook him on the last lap and won the race. Imagine if we saw a Dan's Motorsport overtake on Ash to win the race before the end. That'd be quite funny. Well, it wouldn't be funny for Ash, but we'll see. We'll see what is going to happen then. As I'm speaking, that was kind of a joke. But Dan's Motorsport is going to make that joke a reality then, as he sends his car down the inside. And on the last lap of the race, it is Dan's Motorsport who's going to try his car down the inside of Cop's. And he gets the move done and dusted. It is Dan's Motorsport in the AlphaTauri who just edges his car ahead of Ash Barker. And he is up and ahead through Cop's, sorry, not Cop's, Maggie's and Beckett's. And Dan's Motorsport is absolutely on a roll then here in Silverstone. What a brilliant, brilliant drive after that safety car restart for Dan's in the AlphaTauri. Absolutely superb racing here in Silverstone. Then it's Dan Motorsport who is going to head towards the final few corners. Ash couldn't do anything about that one. He really thought he had it. The win was on the horizon for him. It was right there within grasp, but it's not there anymore as Dan's Motorsport heads around the final corner and he heads across the line to win the sprint race here in Silverstone. That is absolutely sensational this weekend. It's Ash 2nd, Gunners 3rd, Corrigan 4th, it's James Stewart 5th, Ballbag 6th, Mezzanator come home in 7th here in Silverstone, Schultz 8th, Oakley in 9th, and the list will go on. That was absolutely lovely as Dart goes round on the last lap of the race. As we do now watch Rob and Kieran, who come as a pair towards the line, and we'll see if Kieran can get through. I don't think he can, but he's going to push that Williams towards the end of the line. Will he try down the inside? Kieran tried it, but he cannot do it on the Williams, and the Williams will cross the line just ahead of him. It is Rob 10, Kieran 11, Dark will come across the line in 12, and Jarman will be the last driver to cross the line in P13 for the sprint race. Jarman with a bit of a donut towards the line here in Silverstone. He heads over the line once he's finished his donuts. And finishing results then, ladies and gentlemen, here for the sprint race in Silverstone. It's the British Grand Prix in Dan's Motorsport on the last lap of the race. Manages to cross the line and manages to get through past Ash on the last lap. It's Dan's Motorsport who takes the win. The British driver takes the win for the sprint race. And Ash will come across the line in second to make it an all-British 1 and 2 this weekend. As Gunners will cross the line in third, round off the podium this weekend. And for the Haas car, Gunners puts it in third. Obviously, we saw a lot of good defence from him today, and well-deserved P3 for him indeed. Corrigan in fourth. It is James fifth, Ballbike sixth, Mezzanator 7, Schultz 8th, Oakley 9. It is Rob 10, Kieran 11, Dark 12, Jarmin 13, and Gazelle, who DNF'd, who will end up in P14 this weekend. As obviously, as you know, now straight into the main race. We have got a bit of a break, but look at the weather as the sun is shining bright here in Silverstone then, and we get ready to go racing soon. And we will not have the horrible wet conditions that we had earlier on. It's going to really bring the moods up with the drivers today, and that is what we love to see. Here in Silverstone, obviously my home track, so I'm quite excited to do the Grand Prix commentating on this today, and I'm really hoping it is a good race. It is always promised a good race from these guys, and I have no doubt it will be good. So let's see if it lives up to its name once again this weekend. Then, as like I mentioned, we've got the break, and then we have the main race. as hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be getting going with the Grand Prix soon here in Silverstone. And I will tell you something, I am very, very excited to get going with this one. Obviously, I know we've got a few British drivers in this league as well. So, a lot of home races here tonight in over 28s. And hopefully, we get a good one then going into it soon. And hopefully, it starts soon as well. As here we go then, finally, for the formation lap for the Grand Prix here for the British Grand Prix here in Silverstone. And 26 laps ahead of us with 14 drivers, and hopefully we get a good race out of it today here in Silverstone. I am absolutely buzzing for it, as we will have, obviously, Dan's Motorsport, the owner of this league, who will be leading them away for the sprint race and leading them away for the Grand Prix. Not the sprint race, sorry, the formation lap, and then leading them away for the Grand Prix after this lap gone by. It could have been Ash, but on the last lap, Dan's Motorsport managed to take it, and now we are here in the now, and obviously it is Dan's Motorsport who will start up from the top. From Ash, from Gunners, Corrigan, James, Borbag, Mezzinator, Charles, Oakley, Icelandic Rob, it's Kieran, Dark, Jarmin and Gazelle at the back starting off. And maybe the back isn't such a bad place sometimes. And we will see where Gazelle can get themselves today. That'll be a good one to watch. Obviously, like I said, with 26 laps ahead of us and heading round now to conclude the lap. If anyone is in the stream and are racing at the same time, have a very, very good race and good luck to all of you. And I am absolutely buzzing for this one, I can't lie. So, as the drivers will make their way around to turns 16 and 17, obviously the 18 turns on this British Grand Prix circuit, and Dan's Motorsport will make his way around turn 18 now and onto the main straight, where he will find his first position grid slot on that grid. Ash will start himself in second, slowly behind, and we'll see how he positions that. Actually, he tries to position it pointing to the left a little bit there, does he? Yes, he does a bit. As everybody now parking up on the grid. We're getting ready to do this for a second time this weekend here in over 28s. As here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the lights getting ready to go out for a second time this weekend here in Silverstone. It's Dan that leads them away. And we get racing here in Silverstone. It's Dan's Motorsport who is leading so far into turn 1. Ash in second, Gunners third, Corrigan fourth, and he's got the Haas ahead of him who does get through. And Gunners is going to try and go around the outside of the Alfa, the Aston Martin even. He puts his car to the inside, and Gunners manages to get through past Ash on that lap around. That is absolutely lovely. And Gunners makes his way up. He's gunning for them positions, and he gets up into P2 on lap 1 out of 26. His other Haas teammate in P5 so far and trying to make his way up. But the redemption for Ash then. Ash is trying to come back. Ash has a bit of a moment there with a collision with the Haas, and Ash drops back there. But he's got the Ferrari of Corrigan now, who is trying to put the pressure on him as well. The Ferrari of Corrigan, who is on the backside of him now and pushing him. And we'll see what comes out of this one then. Into Cop's corner he goes, and the Ferrari really tries to set his car down the inside, but nothing comes out of it on that lap. And now into Maggis and Beckett's, the McLaren goes a bit wide there. That is horrible lines from Ballbag, I can't lie. But Mezzanator on the backside of Corrigan then. Down into turn 15. And he's got the move done and dusted. Mezzanator up into P4 then in that McLaren. Next on his list is now Ash, who has dropped down one position. Gunners is absolutely gunning for them top positions so far. And I do not blame him one single bit. He's doing an absolutely stellar job. Superb drive for him so far. And we will see what comes out of this one then. Is the Williams on the backside of Charles. It's Rob who has got the Alpine as well on the inside, who's trying to put the pressure on him. But the Williams has got the Mercedes ahead of him, set in his sights. But more importantly, Oakley has got the Williams set in his sights, pushing each other, wheel banging. The Alpine to the outside, trying their best not to hit each other. It's the Alpine on the outside then. He pulls his cars to the inside now. The Williams with the advantage on the softs. But will the Alpine manage to edge his way ahead? It is the Williams on the outside. The Williams with the better exit. And the Williams who manages to get up and up into P8 and stay where he started at the moment. Oh, somebody round. There's the Mercedes of Charles, who has gone round and very, very lucky not to hit anyone there. Was coming back on the track, and it is both Mercedes at the back of the pack. But now, as we head down to turn 15, it is Ash who's gaining on Gunners, and Gunner, who made his way up to P2, is going to lose that all now, and he loses it now on lap 2 out of 26, and it's Ash who retakes the second position, and now he's going to try and find 1.7 seconds on Dan's Motorsport, but obviously in a dry, it shouldn't be as bad. Gazelle gone round at the top of turn 15 as well. And now a lovely train of drivers going down into turn 1. DRS is now enabled, and the Aston Martin was looking for a move there on the Alpine. If he was closer, he would have made that move, but he couldn't do on that lap around then. As into turn 4 and 5 we go, and it's the Williams. It's Rob who is trying to chase down James at the moment. Up ahead, we got battles going on here. Yes, we have. We've got Mezzanator on the backside of Gunners. Obviously, Gunners was up into P2, dropped down back into P3, and now he's got the pressure from the McLaren from behind. He does not want to drop down any more than he has, and we'll see if he will lose a position then as we head down into Cop's Corner now. I don't think anything will change going down into this one, as Gazelle's gone round once again, as we make our way down into Maggots and Beckett's then here at Silverstone. And Mezzanator, is this where he tries to make the move? I don't think he can into turn 15. He's quite far back. Obviously, Gunners with the DRS up ahead, and it's helping him stay ahead as well. It really is helping him. But through here, it is these two bastarding away, and the Williams managed to get through past James. Battle's going on the back as well. Oakley down into P9 at the moment. It's Dark. He's going to try to the inside. Oakley tries to outbrake him. Now pulling his car on the inside, going round into turn 18. It is Oakley on the inside, but Dark just gets ahead and up into P8 on lap 4 out of 26. And the gap between 1 and 2 is now 1.1 seconds. And hopefully, maybe we see that come down, 'cause I'd love to see a good battle. And I've got a big feeling we're going to see something here as well then, as these set of drivers make their way around turn 7. And Oakley will be at the back of this one. Obviously, he lost a position. He's looking for that redemption right now. And we'll see if he can make his way back up and through. Oakley is now got a brilliant exit out of Cops, and he tries to put his way past the Aston Martin into Maggots and Beckett. It's a bit of a tough one to try and overtake through. He has to drop back, and it's the Aston Martin who manages to stay ahead just there. And down into turn 15, and everybody's still so close, to be fair. Saying we're on lap 4, nearly lap 5. Everybody's kind of broke away. They've been little pods. I must say, there's a big group of guys still going on here. as around the final corner and onto the main straight, it'll be Icelandic Rob, who is in the middle of this little battle then. He's got James just ahead of him and seems to be gaining just a little bit. He has got 6/10 of a second between him and James. Sorry, 1/10 even, that's the car ahead. 1/10 between him and James, and we'll see if he can catch up and try and get through here in Silverstone on lap 5 out of 26 for the Grand Prix. As Rob should get the DRS down here, but so does the guy ahead of him, which is going to help him stay ahead. Once again, it's the same thing over and over again for these drivers, and Rob can't do anything about it because the Haas just keeps getting the DRS and can't get ahead. But Rob looking to make a move there down the inside, but just a little bit late to the party to make that one work on that lap around. But now into Copse Corner. Obviously, as you know, Magnus and Beckett's come after that, and we'll see what will happen through there. When you get a good exit through here, Rob does drop back a bit there. It's a bit slow on the exit compared to the other one. And we have Oakley on the backside of Dark as well. I thought we were going to see a bit of a move there, but we did not. And the train continues on. Up ahead, have we got something going on here? Yes, we have. It is Gunners and James, the two Haas teammates, who find themselves in P4 and 5 at the moment. Oh, bit of move going on here then. It's Corrigan getting a bit sloppy, then he tries to get on the inside. Corrigan on Rob. The Ferrari touching wheels. He puts Rob in the wall. The Rob goes off onto the grass, the gravel even, and Rob, who was doing so well, is now down into P10 because of that collision with Corrigan. That is really unfortunate. He didn't deserve that at all, but Oakley sends his car down the inside of one Aston Martin, then tries to get the other Ferrari. And it's now Oakley who has got the slipstream, the brilliant slipstream on Corrigan. He sends his car to the inside, and the Alpine gets through past Corrigan on lap 6 out of 26. Gazelle goes round again, round into turn 1. Can we see the Ferrari fight back though? The Ferrari is on the backside of the Alpine as we now head down into Copse Corner. Which way will he go? The inside or the outside? It's the inside for the Ferrari, but he can't make a move through there. 3 wide into Copse behind. It was 3 wide through there then, as it's the Williams and the McLaren and the Aston Martin of Dark who's trying to get into the party there. It was 3 wide into Copse just there as F1 Kieran gets a 3-second time penalty. That was absolutely mental. 3 wide into Copse, boys. As down into turn 15 we go. And is anything going on? I think everybody's still quite fairly close together, to be fair. And obviously lap 7 out of 26, and we have 19 laps to go here for the British Grand Prix. And it is Dan's Motorsport and Ash Barker who are having the battle of their lives right now. And the gap now 1/10. It is Ash who couldn't decide which way he was going to go. He tries to send it to the outside, but it doesn't work out for him. And that time around, Ash seems to be a bit wibbly wobbly out of the corner sometimes on this race today. But we'll see if he can manage to stay on the backside of Dan's, then down into Copse Corner. That'd be good if you can do indeed. The car of Dan the Motorsport goes a bit wide out of Copse Corner, and Ash tries to put his car around the inside there through Magnus and Beckett's, but then drops back, and Dan the Motorsport manages to stay ahead once again and still leading the race. They're both putting up an absolutely brilliant battle for us here on the television feed. This is what we love to see then, as Ash will now be on the backside of Dan the Motorsport with the slipstream. He cannot do anything about it to deny him so far, but now as they head down to turn 16 and 17, Ash, like I mentioned, has another bit of a moment out of the corner there, but doesn't really affect him too much then. As through turns 1, 2, and 3, we do not get anything from the top 2, and the gap is now 3.5 tenths. Mezzaneta tried to join another fight. He is right there in P3 and catching up with the top 3, over top 2 even. Here we have a move though. Corrigan trying to make a move on Oakley. Oakley got the inside line. That's going to open it all for the Williams as well. The Williams trying to get down the inside of the Ferrari there. Number 62 on that car. It is the Williams of Rob who's pushing the Ferrari. He goes to the outside. An Icelandic Rob flies through past the Ferrari of Corrigan. And it's Rob now on the backside of Oakley. Round the backside, it is Borbag who goes round. Jarman goes through. And Borbag very nearly hits the Alpine as he did come back onto the track. Did we see something there? Moves going on into Cop's corner. Rob, here he is pushing Oakley through Magnussen. Bear-Kitson is really hungry for this position. Up ahead though, who is hungry? Ash is sending his car around the outside of Dan's Motorsport. Dan's Motorsport spins round. He just gave into the pressure and he goes round on turn 15 on the exit there. He had the pressure from Ash and it all got too much for him on lap 8 out of 26. And Dan's Motorsport in that Alpha Tauri comes out back on the track in P5 today. He will not be a happy chappy at all. And one guy that will be happy will be Ash up ahead now with the likes of Mezzanator though with 6 tenths behind him. So lap now out of 26, and it's Ash who is up leading the race so far. Mezzanator, who was behind by 6 tenths, now gained 2 of them. And towards Cop's corner even, he is 4 tenths behind. And gaining so far 3 tenths now. But Mezzanator with a 3-second time penalty. And that is not what he wanted at all. In the hot pursuit of Ash Barker, and that is not what he wanted. One single bit then. As now we are watching Oakley, who is on the backside of the Williams. Oakley on the backside of the Williams of Rob as they make their way around the final corner here in Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. And Oakley just drops back a little bit. Has Rob got him ahead of him? Not really then, is the car ahead of him and managed to pull away. It is the car of Dan's Motorsport who sadly went round, obviously, who was leading, gave into the pressure. But up ahead, it is Ash and Mezzanator. The two drivers, it's one Aston Martin and it's one McLaren then out on track so far. And this is absolutely superb and lovely racing that we're getting going on so far. We've had Ash and Dan's, and now we're getting Ash and Mezzanator. This is what we love to see indeed. And obviously the championship constructors fight is with Williams and McLaren. But we are seeing a Aston Martin McLaren race so far up ahead, and I am absolutely loving it so far. It's Ash who is up ahead from Mezzanator, but Mezzanator's gaining. Ash doesn't have the extra help of the DRS up ahead, and now Mezzanator nearly gets through there past the car of Ash. Ash has been leading for a few laps time now, but has all that glory come to an end at the end of this lap? Mezzanator has got the power to put a stop to his glory then as he goes around the final corner, and he will push as hard as he can, but the gap is now half a second, and Ash was having absolutely none of it and managed to pull away just to keep himself ahead enough to not get overtaken here in Silverstone so far. Borbag with a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and we do have 2 drivers in the pit lane at the moment as Gazelle gets a 3-second time penalty as well, and I'm not sure if Gazelle has a lot of penalties. I think they do actually. But up ahead is Ash and Mezzanator, who are not leaving each other alone at all, and Mezzanator now trying to catch up on the car ahead of him. 4 tenths the gap so far, 3.8 not 3.8, sorry. It is 3/10 of a second. He gets an absolutely shocking exit out of Cop's corner. And back time goes right back up to about half a second now. 4/10, 3/10 now. Starts to coming down. He really does save that lap on Magnus and Beckett's there. Gets lovely lines through there. And now, in hot pursuit of Ash up ahead as he activates the DRS. And if he had a bit more longer track, he would be able to get through. But he just cannot do it into turn 15. And Mezzanator, the prolonged period here, he'll have to wait. But he doesn't. It's Mezzanator into the pit lane. He acts early. And on their medium compound tyres, decides to come in, change them, and tries to undercut Ash Barker. Oh, there's Icelandic Rob doing it as well. As we are on lap 12 out of 26 and just about halfway through the race. One more lap and we will be at half race distance here in Silverstone. And so far, it hasn't been a bad one indeed. And hopefully it continues to be a decent one here in Silverstone. As up ahead it is Ash, who is leading from Gunners once again, and Dan's Motorsport, who makes his way up into P3 at the moment, and he's making his way back up there. That is exactly what we love to see here in Silverstone, and Dan's Motorsport is trying to redeem himself here in Silverstone, see if he can make his way back up to the top. But as all of that's happening, Gunners goes into the pit lane. Oakley goes into the pit lane, James goes into the pit lane, and it is Dan's Motorsport back into P2 then, here for the British Grand Prix. And we're up 13 out of 26, half race distance now. And there's Corrigan, who manages to get through past the guys in the pit lane, and he yeah, my controller just had an absolute stupid moment, but we're alright. We're going to carry on like nothing happened at all. Obviously 14 drivers in the race at the moment, and we have not yet lost one. I must say, obviously, I'll be honest with you, the past few weeks, boys, my commentator's curse has been quite bad. So if somebody crashes in the next lap or so, I'm sorry. I really am. And I'm hoping that nobody does now. I can feel someone's going to crash now. So that has Mezzanator, who was up there in second, obviously pitted and found himself in P6 now. And speaking of that, we're going to get the pit stops up on the screen and see what we are looking at then. As where is pit stops on it? Stops, there you go. So we have pit stops. We have everybody from 6 down has pitted, and everybody else has not yet done so. Is that someone else in the pit lane? No, it's not. But Ash, Dans, Corrigan, and Schultz all have not pitted yet. And the undercut for Mezzanator might just work out for him then today then, because obviously the cars ahead still need to pit. And if that works out for him, Mezzanator will be a very, very happy chappy here for the British Grand Prix. As we're on lap 14 out of 26 now, and the time is just ticking away. It really is. It's going very, very fast. As do we have anything going on here? I think the Williams going to try for a move on the Haas if it's possible. Here's gaining. The Williams will try and gain on the Haas. Can he get through though? He cannot yet. But he sticks on the back side of him. as we go through Cop's corner. It is Rob who gets a shocking exit, but still manages to save it then as he's trying and now gain time on Gunners, who is up ahead in P7. This is the fight for P7 that we are watching here in Silverstone. The Haas has to go a bit slower through there, to be fair, and this is going to bring Rob into play then. Rob is going to get past right before even the straight comes, really, and Corrigan with a 5-second time penalty, but it's Rob who gets through in the Williams, up into P7 here in Silverstone. And into the pit lane goes Schultz. Corrigan into the pit lane as well. Do we see, yeah, we do see a Mezzanator fastest lap as well because of obviously the new tyres that he put on. And do we see a Ash, Dans or Jarman pit stop soon? That is the big question. It is the big question indeed. And we have just about over 10 laps of the race remaining. It has gone absolutely rapid here in Silverstone. I will not lie to you. But the top three here are yet to pit out of the whole grid. And the car of Jarman is being pushed by Mezzanator, and Jarman is losing positions now on the old tyres. Mezzanator, who's pitted, gets up and through past Jarman in the McLaren. And for the championship fight, this is exactly what McLaren want to do. Jarman might make a pit stop at the end of this lap. Ash now decides to do it. Dan's Motorsport decides to do it. Will Jarman decide to do it as well as he heads down the back straight? That is a big, big question. But as they go into the pit lane, and obviously it's a slow pit lane here in Silverstone, Mezzanator, who tried the undercut here in Silverstone, might just come out on top this weekend. Then as he goes around the final corner, the undercut will work absolutely brilliant for Mezzanator this weekend. They both pitted, and Mezzanator will go across the final corner and over the line. And he is now leading. He managed to get up there. So does Jarman, but obviously Jarman doesn't pit. And Jarman's the only driver in this race today that has not yet pitted as of yet. As it is Gunners, who was gunning for the top positions earlier. And we are just going to have to see if he is still gunning for them positions now. With 10 laps to go here in Silverstone, and he's got Icelandic Rob just ahead of him in P4. Mezzanator, who's stopped obviously now. We stopped earlier on. The undercut worked brilliantly for him. Jarman should be coming in at the end of this lap because I'm not sure why he hasn't, to be fair. I really don't know why he hasn't. But we'll have to see what comes out of it for him. Obviously, Ash pitted. Dan's Motorsport pitted, but we've got a move going on here. Gunners gets through past Rob on lap 16 out of 26. And Mezzanator will head his way towards the line. And the guy that's leading puts us on lap 17 out of 26, and the clock is ticking down. Absolutely well fast today, I can't lie. Really, really fast. There's Icelandic Rob on the back side of the Haas, and we'll see if he can make his way through. Past him on lap 17 out of 26. He does try to the inside. This time around, it is Rob to the inside of the Haas. Can he get through? The Haas manages to edge his way just ahead there. And Gunners managed to gun himself up just enough to stay into P4. Not for long though, because for one, a Mercedes is round on the last corner. And for two, Rob puts his car back down the inside of Gunners, and he's through on lap 17 out of 26. What's happening with the Mercedes then? Is he going slow? And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we have not yet got a DNF, and I'm hoping we can finish a race without one. And I will tell you a little secret right now. In my whole career of commentating, over the 2.5 years that I've done this job, in the whole 2.5 years, I have never ever commentated on a race where there's been no DNFs. I never have. And could today be the day then? Because it is all looking good for us at the moment. With lap 17 out of 26. I do not want to put a commentator's curse on it at all. But if that happens, that would be quite funny. I can't lie. But we'll have to see what's going to happen then as going down into the final few corners. Is that Jarman that finally decides to pit? Yes, it is. And we'll see the gap between Mezzanator and Ash as we will put up the... You know what, we'll put up the tyres first. Let's put up the interval and we'll go with tyres for a bit, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Mezzanator obviously on the hards. It's going to allow him to go a bit longer today here in Silverstone. And the gap between him and Ash is now 3.2 seconds up there at the moment, and that gap is going to come down at a rate of knots probably if he can drive fast enough. Rob on the backside of the Haas of Gunners, and we'll see on this time I'm asking if he can get round and pass through the Haas car in P3 here in Silverstone. As down the inside goes Dan's Motorsport, and he's on the absolute hot pursuit in this weekend to make his way back up to where he belongs on the grid here in Silverstone. He's doing absolutely brilliantly, and if he keeps that up, he will stay ahead. Ballbag nearly ruined my streak there. Well, nearly ruined the streak of having someone retire every race. But he manages to bring his car back on the track, does not DNF, and luckily he is still in today's race. Oh, down the back straight then. It is Rob who goes past Gunners, and he is through into turn 15. That is absolutely brilliant racing. And the Williams is through on that lap around. Is there more battles going on behind? Yes, there is. It is Dan's Motorsport ahead of Oakley. And I think Dan's Motorsport should be able to stay ahead of him on lap 19 out of 26 with only 6 laps to go. 7 laps to go even, ladies and gentlemen. And that is what we love to see, really. That is absolutely brilliant stuff. So far, obviously, the race has come down so very fast. And the racing hasn't been too bad at all then. As we look up ahead with Gunners and Icelandic Rob. And obviously, Rob got ahead. And we'll see if Gunners can come back at Rob then as he tries his car to the inside. And Gunners might be able to do it. Gunners can do it. And Gunners gets through past the Williams on lap 19 out of 26. And that is a lovely move from the Haas car. And he is up and through to P3. That is absolutely brilliant. But the gap now between 1 and 2 is now 1.9 seconds, 1.8. And oh my days. That is coming down at a rate of knots then, with only a few laps of today's race remaining. Mezzanator, who leads from Ash, and it'll be brilliant if we do see a Mezzanator win, because, you know, him with the undercut strategy worked out for him. It'll be a winning strategy story for him, and that'll be exactly what we love to see. But I think Ash is capable of getting himself up there, and we'll see if he can do so. Mezzanator ahead, but the gap between him and Ash is now 9 tenths, 8 tenths now, as they make their way up around turn 5 and towards turn 6 and 7 here in Silverstone. It is Mezzanator ahead from Ash, and we're going to keep an eye on that one, because that is going to keep coming down. Keep an eye on that time, ladies and gentlemen, because that time is going to keep coming down towards the end of this race as Dark tries to get through past James there. Doesn't work out for him on this lap around. And Ballbag living a quiet life at the back. Let's give him that. Just sitting there in P14, came out of the pit lane. He is 26 seconds behind. But on lap 20 out of 26, Ash Barker managed to get himself back through past Mezzanator on lap 20. That is absolutely brilliant. And the Aston Martin of Ash finds himself back on the top spot here in Silverstone. And he's on for another race win, and we'll see if he can go and do it this weekend then for the Aston Martin boys. Obviously this is their home race, is Ash's home race as well, as Mezzanator picks up another penalty, and that is not what he wants at all. Mezzanator with another time penalty here in Silverstone, and if he stays like this, I mean, Ash has easily got this win in the bag. But don't say too soon, because we've got 5 laps to go. Yola boy, back in the chat. How are you doing, mate? It's good to see you. The chat has been absolutely dead so far. Thing is with this league, the chat's normally dead, but then the YouTube video gets so many views because you normally get loads of them watching it back. So I don't mind that at all. As Mezzanator will make his way down the back straight and will not gain anywhere closer to Ash. Down here, he can't get past him, but he is gaining a little bit. Not enough to make any moves, though, as we have the Mercedes on the backside of the Alpine. And Yala Boy predicts a safety car. Mate, I'm not even joking. In my whole 2.5 years of commentating, I said this earlier, I've not had one race where there's been no DNFs. I don't think. I might have had a few. I'm not sure. But from what I remember, I haven't had any. And could today be the day, or will the commentators take the best of it? We'll have to see what comes out of it. But Yol says safety car. Could there be a safety car between these two? As Schultz will send his car to the inside. He tries his best to get through, but Jarmin just stays ahead at the moment. Bahrain Season 3 is in a row. Mate, you are too good with these dates and stuff. I do not know how you remember that. Kieran with a time penalty. As around the final corner, turn 18, and then on to the main straight they go. It's Charles on the back end of Jarmin. Dark with a 3-second time penalty on lap 22 out of 26 here in Silverstone. And the race is kind of coming to an end now. Not really that many laps to go here for the British Grand Prix. And it's been an absolutely brilliant race so far. And as it's standing, Ash will take the win this weekend. But we'll see. We'll see if anything changes about that coming towards the end of this Grand Prix then. Side by side, that was a lovely little battle we had going on there between Jarmin and Schultz. And Schultz finally manages to get through. I was battling with Echo while you and Garrison were singing a song ChatGPT made about safety cars. Oh, was it that race? Sprint week. Yeah, me and Garrison kind of, what's the word? I don't know. We kind of go a bit over the top sometimes. We put on a good show, though. There's Jarmin. He's going to try to the outside of Schultz, and he sends it to the outside. Round turn 15. Can Jarmin get through past Schultz, the Mercedes? Yes, he does. And the Alpine makes his way up into P10, and he's back again through to where he was before. Dan's Motorsport with a 3-second time, but that's going to change things a lot. Where's that come out of? He will not be happy with that one at all. As Rob is gaining on Gunners. I thought he was going to make a move there, but he did not, as we've got 3 laps of the race remaining. And it is Ash from Mezzanator with 5/10 between them. Did you see my reel of drinks in the safety car? We need that now. Yeah, I did see that, mate. You should have... Oh, mate, me and Garrison's blooming... manifestation was crazy about the safety car. That was absolutely brilliant. I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to say next lap, because the next lap's the only one we can actually do it on. Lap 24, we're going to get a safety car. Ash, and then he put his car on the wall there. He's going to bring Mezzanator to the inside. He has got the time penalties, but he doesn't care at the moment. He'll try and win it on track anyway. Mezzanator will go through, and now towards the line. Mezzanator in the McLaren will be leading on lap 24 out of 26. Ash is going to try his best, but Charles with a 3-second time penalty now. Ash will try his best to get through. Even if it finishes like this, Ash still wins, but he does want to win it on track, really. Corrigan with a 3-second time penalty towards the end of the race as well. Where are all these penalties coming from? Are we going to get a safety car? Will my prediction come right? That is a good question. That would be quite funny if that happens as well, to be fair, but I'm not sure if it will, as we are on lap 20. Are you joking? Oh, never mind. Okay, Corrigan retiring the pit lane. I thought we were going to actually get something there. Never mind. Is that somebody? Oh, no, never mind. He didn't retire in the pit lane. He came around the final corner and hit the wall. We didn't get a safety car because we're on lap 24 out of 26 and you can't get one now. Well, I kind of predicted it, yo. I kind of predicted it, mate. In a way. If it was the lap before, it would have been a safety car, but, you know, it is what it is. And now, as they go back down the back straight, it's Ash who's going to try and go around the outside of Ash. And Mezzanator, and Ash in the Aston Martin is going to get back through and take the lead of the British Grand Prix this weekend here for over 28 for round 24. That is absolutely brilliant racing as they head around the final corner to start the penultimate lap here in Silverstone. What's a VC after? I'll see if I've got time, mate. I was going to watch it. I was going to go and watch the darts after this. As Mezzanator in P2 now. Obviously, he did have the time penalties and still does. So it doesn't really make a difference if he did cross the line first because he still wouldn't win. You one of those guys? Not really, mate. I just the darts are just it's just good to watch at Christmas, isn't it? The Darts World Championship, but we will continue to watch this battle to the end. And also, there's quite a big train of guys at the back here. I didn't even see this. Give us a dart reference in your commentary. No, I am not. I don't even. To be fair, mate, I don't even know that much about darts. It's just like I can't lie. I just watch it. You know, what I mean? I'm not like. It's not like Formula One where I'll know everything about it. It's just kind of, you know, watch the darts and it. As up ahead, Mezzanator gets back through past Ash. I was not expecting that at all. Then as we head round to turn 16 and 17, the final few corners here in Silverstone. And now, as they head around the last corner for the British Grand Prix, they will cross the line and start the final lap of this weekend here in Silverstone. It's Mezzanator ahead with the time penalties. It's Ash with the better speed then at the moment on the backside of him even. And is that a McLaren going as slow? Is that McLaren in the pit lane? Has he crashed? I'm not sure. It's Borbag who's going very slow. He's waiting for everyone to actually go past him. Never mind, that's actually very good of him. As now, Ash on the last lap of the race here in Silverstone is lap 26 out of 26. And Ash tries to get through past Mezzanator, but he can't do anything to deny him so far. Obviously, Mezzanator with the time penalties, so still if it ends up like this, it'll be Ash's win. But not on track indeed, because Mezzanator is putting up a brilliant fight through Cop's corner now. And Ash is pushing as hard as he can on this last lap here in Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. And Ash is absolutely dying to get through past Mezzanator. Rob with the 3-second time penalty at the end as they now exit Maggots and Beckett's and onto the back straight they go. Now, will Ash get past him on the last lap of the race? He did it in yesterday's league. He will try and do it in today's league as well in the over 28. Ash on the final lap of the race will send his car around turn 15, now to turn 16. The final few corners here in Silverstone. It's Ash and Mezzanator, the top two drivers, will make their way around the final corner. And to cross the line, Ash will take the win for the British Grand Prix this weekend for round 24 in the over 28. It's Mezzanator second, and Gunners will round off the top three as he crosses the line now. Rob fourth, it is Oakley fifth. Dan's Motorsports sixth after having a decent race, obviously spinning round. Kind of went downhill from there. Dark in seventh, eighth will be James and Jarmin ninth, but we're going to see the confirmed positions because of obviously time penalties. Dan's Motorsport down to 7, Dark up to 6th. James up to 7th, Dan's now to 8th. And Dan's, who won out in last race, around the final corner, Charles, into the wall. Yeah, Dan's, who won out last race on Friday. He is not doing great compared to that one today. Obviously down in P10, he's dropped down quite a bit so far, but it is Kieran who will be next to cross the line. As for the final corner, Kieran will cross the line. Dan's Motorsport drops to P11. This is not looking good at all. And this is the podium celebrations then, ladies and gentlemen, here for the British Grand Prix. What a race that has been. It is a British 1 and 2. And if you are watching this and have not followed the Jack Rusty Comms Twitch before I end off, that'd be much appreciated if you give us a quick follow before the end of the stream. That'd be very, very appreciated over here on my end. Thank you very much if you could. As now, on to the finishing results, ladies and gentlemen. For the race, the Grand Prix here in Silverstone, it's Ash who comes across the line in the Aston Martin and wins out here in Silverstone from Mezzanator in second, and then Gunners in third position this weekend. It's Rob in fourth, Oakley fifth, Dark sixth, Jarman seventh. It is James in eighth, Charles 9, and Kieran to round off the top 10. So thank you everybody for joining me this weekend here in Silverstone for the small qualifying sprint and race. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate for you guys again, and I'll be back next week on Friday if you guys if I get called up to do it again, and I will try and put on a good show for you like I always try to. So thank you for having me, and I'll see you next week. See you in a bit.